What up, everybody? The Power Universe is always good for a couple of curveballs, and the Ghost Season 3 premiere did not disappoint. There was the major plot twist that has everybody talking, that Lauren is still alive, and they have it looking like Effie may be a CI they have in Tariq's inner circle. However, there was another plot twist that happened earlier in the show that needs to be addressed. And this is the fact that Noma was not only Mecca's plug, but his fiancé. And this is crazy considering we saw Mecca courting Monet all of season 2. So now it makes sense why Mecca was in such a hurry to get out of the country. Noma appears to be extremely dangerous and may not be the type of woman you just end a relationship with. So Mecca was trying to grab Monet and her kids if they wanted to come and disappear before Noma and her people could find him. In season 2, we saw Mecca talking on the phone to Monet while looking at a very expensive blue diamond. That's when Kane walked in the door and Mecca demanded that he get out. And at this point, every person watching assumed that this diamond was for Monet. So when Mecca and Lorenzo locked Monet, Kane, and Tariq out of the business, they decided to pull a heist. And Kane said he knew how they could up the ante and put Mecca's blue diamond into play. And after a successful heist, Tariq took the blue diamond to Davis McLean in exchange for his payment. And Davis McLean spoke these exact words: "The lady this was made for sure gonna be upset." And Tariq replied, "She'll be aight." Fast forward 3 to 3.5 months later, and this same ring is now being auctioned, and the ring goes for $5.5 million. And at this auction, we get our first look at Noma. Following this auction, we see the man who purchased the ring proposing to his girlfriend, and Noma shows up with her bodyguards. And at this time, we are also introduced to Obi, who appears to be extremely ruthless and most likely Noma's younger brother. Noma demands the man give her the ring, stating he has something that belongs to her. And when the man refuses, Noma's bodyguards grabs the couple, and Noma ruthlessly cuts the woman's hand off, takes the ring off of the woman's hand, and puts it on her own before her guards execute the couple. Now we need to keep in mind this murder may come back to haunt Noma, because the man she killed was extremely rich and may be connected. He had enough money to spend $5.5 million on an engagement ring. So we have to ask, could this man be a Weston, have ties to Simon Stern, or maybe the son of a big time mob boss? Just a couple of the possibilities. After successfully obtaining her ring, Noma and her men then proceed to Mecca's penthouse, where she finds Tariq, Kane, and Brayden. Brayden had set up the meeting to discuss getting back into the game. However, Kane wanted no part of working with Tariq and Brayden, and Tariq said he felt relief not being in the game. This is when Noma and her men storm into Mecca's penthouse and demands that they get onto their knees. After that, Noma executes one of Mecca's soldiers for saying her name. Demanding answers, Tariq, Kane, and Brayden convince Noma that they could take over as her New York distro. And during this conversation, Noma brags that Mecca was her first lieutenant, that he had federal protection, informed on her rivals, and that he made sure the feds stayed out of her business. So any thought of winning Noma over by letting her know that Mecca was actually a snitch goes out of the window. However, Tariq ensures Noma that they too have people in government and can replace Mecca. Now this is definitely a reach. All I know is that Tariq has Davis, Tate, and Sachs. But with Tate and Sachs connections, that might be enough. They have no one in law enforcement because we already know Kane killed Officer Ramirez. As Tariq, Kane, and Braden were trying to convince her, Noma had a smirk on her face, almost like she was about ready to laugh at them, and stated that she was intrigued and called them eager little puppies. Obi replied to her and said that they were obviously lying and wanted to execute them like they did Mecca's soldier, and tells Noma that she is too generous, and Noma replied to Obi, "As my right." So we can definitely see there's two sides to Noma. One, a ruthless killer, and two, a loving, generous woman. And we can tell that Noma and Obi are most likely brother and sister simply by their interactions. It is also during this scene that we learn that Mecca was Noma's fiancé, and she also tells them that that blue diamond ring that they stole belonged to her, not knowing that they were actually the ones that stole it. And before leaving, Noma lets them know that anybody who can provide information about what happened to Mecca, she will make it worth their while. When she states this, we can see the look on Tariq's face, looking like a pool table, I keep the 8. This is a trump card that Tariq can keep in his back pocket to use if needed. I already discussed in a previous video how Tariq is utilizing Power Law 35 in learning to master the art of timing. So Tariq will keep this information to himself for now, but could disclose this information to Noma at any time he needs to. So, as of now, Noma wants revenge for Mecca's killer, but her heart could change at a moment's notice when she learns the truth about her fiancé, that he was courting another woman the entire time he was in New York and planning on fleeing the country to disappear somewhere in paradise. Something that is going to also be extremely important to providing Noma with the truth about Mecca is the green bag, which was last possessed by Diana Tejada. In this bag is the proof that Monet needs that Mecca was cheating on Noma, as there is bank accounts set up for Monet and all her children. It would be obvious that Monet had no idea that Mecca was involved with somebody else. Once Monet is able to clear the air with Noma about Mecca, I believe Noma will put Monet back in charge to help keep Tariq, Braden, and Kane in line. We see two scenes from the season 3 trailer that indicate this. One scene, Monet is telling Drew that she's running things now, so stuff is going to look different. And we see another scene with Monet walking through the same warehouse that Tariq, Effie, Kane, and Braden met Obi at to get the supply at the end of the episode. In conclusion, if Tariq is able to successfully succeed Mecca in Noma's organization, he will no longer need to finish school to get his dad's inheritance, because Mecca was a multi-millionaire with flashy cars and a jet. So Tariq will now have his own money and be just like his dad was in his day, the biggest drug dealer in New York. However, no matter what, I believe Tariq will stay in school unless he is kicked out, because school and looking legit will be his cover. Remember all the way back to season 1 where Tariq told Tasha, remember how dad always used to say drug dealers either end up dead or in prison? Well, I think I found another way. I wonder if Tariq still has this plan, and if he still plans to reunite with his mom Tasha and Yaz, because he will now have access to the money and power he said he needed to make it happen. And there you have it, Noma not only the plug but Mecca's fiancé. Leave your thoughts in the comments.